Welcome to Healthy Aging Blueprint, your trusted space for simple, effective tips to help seniors live healthier, happier, and more meaningful lives. Whether you're stepping into retirement or supporting a parent or grandparent on their wellness journey, this channel is for you. Together, we'll explore real-life experiences, healthy daily habits, and a positive mindset to help you wake up each day with energy, joy, and purpose. Have you ever stepped out of the shower feeling refreshed, only to later notice a strange itch or irritation in an area you barely gave a second thought? What if the hygiene habits you've trusted for decades are no longer protecting you the way they once did? And could neglecting just a few specific spots on your body be silently harming your health, especially after age 70? As we grow older, our bodies undergo changes that we often don't anticipate. The routines we've followed for years, perhaps even decades, may no longer be enough to keep us truly clean, protected, and comfortable. In this video, we're shining a light on 3 commonly overlooked body parts that need special attention in your hygiene routine as you age. Ignoring these areas can lead to more than just mild irritation. It can cause infections, rashes, and in some cases, more serious health complications. Make sure to stay with us until the very end, where we'll uncover a surprising area that could be quietly undermining your immune system and overall well-being without you even realizing it. This small shift in your routine might just transform how you feel each day. Before we begin, a quick favor. If you find this content helpful, please give the video a like. Your support helps me continue sharing these essential health lessons for healthy aging. And if you haven't already subscribed, now's a great time to do so. Just click that button and turn on the bell so you never miss future videos. If you're enjoying the video so far, drop a 1 in the comments below. If not, leave a 0 and let me know how I can make it better for you. Let's dive into our first overlooked body part, your feet. Your foundation for health. Our feet are often the unsung heroes of our daily lives. Day in and day out, they carry the entire weight of your body, help maintain balance, and allow you to move freely, whether you're walking, standing, or simply getting from room to room. They are essential to your mobility and independence, yet surprisingly, foot care tends to be neglected, especially among those over the age of 70. For many older adults, cleaning the feet becomes a rushed task, maybe a quick rinse in the shower or a light swipe with soapy water. But this minimal care may not be enough. As we age, the feet become more vulnerable to skin breakdown, fungal infections, and circulatory issues. In fact, the condition of your feet can often be one of the earliest indicators of underlying health problems. Taking proper care of your feet is not just about hygiene. It's about preserving your independence, balance, and overall well-being. So, how often do we truly pay attention to them? Foot care isn't just about comfort. It's about protecting your health, maintaining your independence, and preserving the quality of your life as you grow older. But why does foot care become even more critical with age? As we age, our bodies go through many changes, and the feet are often among the first areas to feel those effects. One of the most significant shifts is reduced circulation. This decrease in blood flow to the extremities is a natural part of aging, but it also means that your feet don't heal as quickly from small cuts or scrapes. What might have once been a minor irritation can now take longer to recover, and during that time, it's more vulnerable to infection. In addition, the skin on our feet becomes thinner, drier, and less resilient with age. It gradually loses its natural moisture barrier, making it more susceptible to cracks, calluses, and fissures. While these may appear harmless at first glance, they can act as doorways for bacteria, fungi, and other pathogens to enter the body. To complicate things further, the immune system also weakens as we get older. This means that your body's natural defense mechanisms aren't as quick or effective in fighting off infections. When you combine all these factors, thinner skin, slower healing, and reduced immune function, it becomes clear why foot care demands more attention than ever in your later years. For older adults living with chronic health conditions like diabetes, peripheral artery disease, or neuropathy, the risks increase dramatically. Take diabetes, for example. It often leads to nerve damage or neuropathy, which reduces sensation in the feet. That means small injuries, cuts, blisters, or even infections can go completely unnoticed until they become severe. Poor circulation, common in both diabetes and vascular conditions, only adds to the problem by impairing the healing process even further. When left unaddressed, this combination of factors can lead to serious complications such as foot ulcers, or in the worst cases, amputations. But even if you don't have a chronic condition, neglecting your feet can still lead to significant problems. Discomfort, pain, and mobility issues can develop gradually, slowly chipping away at your independence and making everyday tasks more difficult than they need to be. One of the most common foot issues among older adults is fungal infection, particularly athlete's foot, also known as tinea pedis. The warm, often damp space between the toes, combined with thinning, more fragile skin, creates the perfect environment for fungus to grow. What might begin as a little itching, redness, or scaling can quickly turn into something much more serious. If left untreated, athlete's foot can open the door to bacterial infections like cellulitis, a condition marked by swelling, redness, and pain. Cellulitis isn't just uncomfortable. In severe cases, it may require hospitalization or intravenous antibiotics to treat effectively. Dry skin is another frequent culprit when it comes to foot problems in older adults. Dry skin might seem like a minor nuisance, but it can quickly become something far more serious. When the skin on your heels or soles becomes excessively dry, it can crack, forming painful fissures that don't just hurt, but can also act as entry points for infection. These tiny breaks in the skin may bleed, become inflamed, or in more vulnerable individuals, progress into slow-healing ulcers. For anyone with poor circulation, especially those living with diabetes, the risk increases dramatically. Even a seemingly small sore can turn dangerous if bacteria reach deeper tissues or if inflammation spreads. In some cases, what starts as a minor foot issue can escalate into a condition that threatens not just mobility, but the limb itself. Take George, for example. A 75-year-old retired shop teacher, he spent most of his life on his feet, teaching woodworking and staying physically active. After retirement, he began to notice that the skin on his heels felt drier than usual. He also experienced slight redness between his toes and occasional itching. Thinking these were simply signs of aging, he didn't give them much thought. But within just a few weeks, a tiny crack in his heel worsened into a painful ulcer that refused to heal. It wasn't until he saw a doctor that he learned he had developed a bacterial infection from the untreated dryness. The solution involved a round of antibiotics, custom orthotic footwear to relieve pressure, and weeks of careful wound management. George's experience is a sobering reminder. Small oversights in foot care can spiral into serious health challenges if ignored. So how can you protect yourself? It starts with a proactive foot care routine, one that's consistent, thorough, and mindful of the unique needs of aging feet. Caring for your feet isn't complicated, but it does require daily attention. Here's how to stay ahead of potential problems. Start with daily inspection. Get into the habit of examining your feet every day, ideally in the morning before putting on socks and shoes, or at night before bed. Good lighting is essential. If you have difficulty seeing clearly or reaching your feet, consider using a magnifying mirror, or ask a caregiver, family member, or trusted friend for help. Check for any signs of trouble: redness, swelling, excessive dryness, cracks, blisters, cuts, or any changes in skin color or texture. Be especially attentive to the areas between your toes, your heels, and the soles of your feet, spots that are often missed but can harbor early signs of infection or irritation. Then move on to thorough cleaning. Washing your feet properly involves more than just letting water run over them in the shower. Use warm, not hot water to avoid drying out the skin, and select a mild, fragrance-free soap. Harsh or heavily scented products can strip away the skin's natural moisture, leaving it even more vulnerable to cracking and irritation. Using harsh soaps or scrubbing too vigorously can strip the skin of its natural oils, making dryness even worse. Instead, opt for a gentle touch. Use a soft washcloth, sponge, or simply your hands to clean every part of your feet. Don't forget the areas between the toes, around the nails, and along the soles. Each of these spots needs attention, especially since dirt and bacteria can easily collect in folds or creases. If you struggle with flexibility or balance, there are tools designed to make this step easier. A long-handled brush or foot washing aid can help ensure a thorough clean without the strain of bending or reaching awkwardly. After washing, rinsing your feet well is key. Any leftover soap residue can lead to dryness or irritation if it's not fully removed. Once clean, it's time to dry, completely. Drying your feet might seem like a quick step, but it's just as important as washing. Moisture left on your skin, especially between your toes, can create a warm, damp environment where fungi thrive. That's when infections can begin, often unnoticed until symptoms appear. Use a clean, soft towel to gently pat your feet dry. Take extra care to dry between each toe. Those tight spaces are where moisture tends to linger. If reaching your feet is difficult, a long-handled drying tool can be useful. Alternatively, you can use a hair dryer on a cool setting, held at a safe distance, to remove any lingering moisture. Just be sure not to overdo it. Your goal is to be dry, not overheated. Now that your feet are clean and dry, moisturizing becomes the next critical step. Apply a non-greasy, fragrance-free moisturizer to the tops and soles of your feet to keep the skin soft, flexible, and less prone to cracking. Look for products that contain hydrating ingredients such as urea, glycerin, or hyaluronic acid. These help your skin retain moisture without clogging pores. It's important, however, to avoid applying moisturizer between the toes. That area is best kept dry to prevent excess moisture buildup, which could lead to fungal infections. If you're uncertain about which moisturizer is best for your skin type or condition, ask a pharmacist or healthcare provider for personalized recommendations. Foot health isn't just about skin care. It also involves the shoes and socks you wear daily. The right footwear supports your hygiene routine, while the wrong pair can undo your efforts. Choose shoes that fit properly, offer ample support, and allow your feet to breathe. Tight, narrow, or poorly constructed shoes can lead to blisters, calluses, and pressure sores, especially if worn for long periods. And for people over 70, even minor foot injuries can become major problems if left unchecked. Rotating your shoes is more important than you might think. Wearing the same pair every day without allowing them time to fully dry can trap moisture inside, creating the perfect environment for fungal growth. Make it a habit to let your shoes air out completely between wears. Even that simple break in usage can make a big difference in keeping your feet dry and protected. Socks also matter more than many people realize. Choose moisture-wicking socks made from natural fibers like cotton or bamboo, or opt for synthetic blends specifically designed to promote airflow and reduce sweat buildup. Change your socks daily, or even more frequently if your feet tend to sweat a lot. And never put on socks that aren't clean and fully dry. Starting the day with damp or used socks is like inviting bacteria to settle in. Nail care is another essential step that often gets overlooked. Keep your toenails trimmed straight across to reduce the risk of ingrown nails, which can easily become infected if cut too short or improperly. Always use clean, sanitized clippers and avoid trimming too close to the skin. If you have trouble reaching your feet, or if your nails are thick, discolored, or brittle, signs that may indicate a fungal infection, it's best to consult a podiatrist. These professionals can help address not only nail health, but also corns, calluses, and foot structure issues that might affect how you walk or stand. Seeing a foot care specialist regularly isn't just for people with serious medical conditions. It's a smart preventive measure that can help maintain your mobility and prevent minor problems from escalating into major ones. But step back for a moment and think about the bigger picture. Caring for your feet isn't only about avoiding infections or discomfort. It's about protecting your independence. When your feet hurt or become damaged, even simple tasks like getting the mail, grocery shopping, or strolling through the park can feel daunting. Neglecting your feet over time can lead to pain, limited mobility, and, eventually, reduced participation in the activities that bring joy and connection. That kind of physical limitation can also contribute to feelings of isolation or loss of confidence. On the other hand, maintaining a consistent foot care routine helps support everything else you do. It's the foundation, literally, of your daily life. From walking the dog to spending time with loved ones, healthy feet help keep you moving. And here's the best part. It doesn't take much. Just 10 minutes a day of mindful care, cleaning, drying, moisturizing, inspecting, can yield major benefits in the long run. So tomorrow morning, before slipping into your shoes or cozy slippers, take a quiet moment to ask yourself, have I given my feet the care they truly deserve today? After all, your feet carry you through every season of life. They deserve more than a quick rinse. They deserve consistent care, attention, and respect. When you give your feet consistent attention and care, you're doing more than just preventing discomfort. You're creating a stronger, more stable foundation for everything you do each day. Whether you're walking through your home, heading out for errands, or simply enjoying time with family, healthy feet support your independence and confidence at every step. If you're still with me and finding this information helpful, please take a moment to comment 1 below. I truly appreciate your time and commitment to your well-being. Now, let's shift our focus to another area that's just as important, but often even more overlooked: the groin. The groin area is a sensitive, private part of the body that many people feel uncomfortable discussing, even with their doctor. But this discomfort often leads to neglect, especially among older adults. And for those over 70, ignoring this part of the body can result in more than just mild irritation. Without daily care, it can affect your comfort, your hygiene, and even your health. What makes the groin such a high-risk area for infection and discomfort? It's a perfect storm. Warmth, moisture, and skin folds all come together to create an ideal environment for bacteria, yeast, and fungi to grow. This region is tucked away, doesn't get much airflow, and can become damp from sweat throughout the day. As we age, this risk increases for several reasons. Reduced mobility can make it harder to reach or clean this area thoroughly. Limited flexibility, stiffness, or physical discomfort may prevent someone from drying the groin properly after bathing. Over time, this trapped moisture can lead to chafing, skin irritation, and even chronic infections. And then there are the natural changes to skin that come with aging. The skin becomes thinner and less elastic, losing its ability to bounce back the way it once did. It may also begin to sag, creating deeper skin folds where sweat and bacteria can accumulate unnoticed. If this area isn't cleaned and dried carefully each day, minor irritation can quietly turn into bigger issues, like fungal infections, skin breakdown, or persistent rashes that are difficult to treat. Have you ever wondered why a little itch or redness seems to keep coming back no matter what you try? The answer may lie in how thoroughly and consistently the groin is cared for. But here's the good news. With daily attention and proper hygiene practices, you can maintain comfort, confidence, and dignity. Like any other part of the body, the groin deserves thoughtful care, because feeling clean in every area helps you feel good as a whole. In the groin area, sweat and bacteria often collect in places we rarely think about, particularly in deeper skin folds where air circulation is limited. For many older adults, even occasional urinary leakage can add to this problem. The presence of extra moisture from incontinence, no matter how minor or infrequent, can slowly break down the skin's protective barrier. And once that barrier is compromised, infection isn't far behind. Chronic health conditions further increase the risk. People living with diabetes or obesity face additional challenges. Elevated blood sugar levels can impair the body's ability to fight infection, while excess weight often creates more pronounced skin folds, trapping heat and moisture for extended periods. This combination sets the stage for microbial overgrowth, bacteria, yeast, and fungi, all of which thrive in dark, damp environments. Even what you wear can make a difference. Tight clothing made of synthetic fabrics doesn't allow the skin to breathe. Likewise, absorbent products like adult briefs or protective pads, although necessary, can retain warmth and moisture if not changed frequently or fitted properly. Over time, these small oversights can result in chronic irritation or more serious skin damage. These factors can lead to a wide range of issues, from mild discomfort to serious infections. One of the most common problems is intertrigo, a skin condition caused by friction and moisture in areas where skin touches skin. It often starts with redness or soreness, but when left untreated, it can quickly progress to inflamed patches, open sores, or secondary bacterial infections. Fungal infections are also common in the groin area. Conditions like jock itch, tinea cruris, or yeast overgrowth, candida, can cause intense itching, burning, or persistent rashes that just won't go away. And when these conditions become severe, they don't just affect the skin. They can cause such pain and irritation that walking, sitting, or even sleeping becomes uncomfortable. What happens when these warning signs go ignored? That's when the real consequences begin. Poor groin hygiene often reveals itself subtly at first. Maybe it's a faint odor, a little redness, or a small patch of irritation, easy to brush off as nothing. But these small signs are the body's way of signaling that something needs attention. If neglected, what starts as a mild rash can escalate into a weeping wound or open sore that requires prescription creams, antibiotics, and weeks of careful treatment to heal. For individuals with weakened immune systems or poor circulation, like many seniors, infections in the groin area can become dangerous. In some cases, bacteria from these infections may even enter the bloodstream, leading to more serious complications that affect the entire body. Consider Margaret. Margaret, an 82-year-old grandmother known for her independence and self-reliance, began noticing something that quietly troubled her: a persistent odor in her groin area, even after her usual bathing routine. At first, she felt embarrassed. She chalked it up to aging and kept it to herself, thinking it was simply a part of getting older. But the problem didn't go away. In fact, the odor grew stronger and was soon accompanied by itching and ongoing discomfort. It wasn't until the symptoms became too uncomfortable to ignore that she finally mentioned it to a visiting nurse. After a quick assessment, the nurse diagnosed her with a mild fungal infection, something caused by trapped moisture in the skin folds of her groin area. The solution? Surprisingly simple. With a daily routine of gentle cleansing, careful drying, and the application of a zinc-based barrier cream, Margaret saw her symptoms fade within just a few weeks. More than that, she felt a shift in her mood and energy. "I had no idea how much this was affecting me," she said. "Taking care of it made me feel like myself again." Stories like Margaret's highlight why this area of the body deserves more care than it typically receives. So, what does a comprehensive groin care routine look like? Preventing groin-related issues doesn't require complicated treatments, just a consistent, gentle approach to hygiene. Here's how to care for this sensitive region step by step. Daily cleaning should be a non-negotiable part of your routine. Whether you take a full shower or not, it's important to cleanse the groin area every day. Use warm, not hot water and a mild, unscented soap that won't disrupt the natural balance of your skin. Harsh soaps or heavily fragranced products can lead to dryness, irritation, or allergic reactions. When washing, focus on the entire groin region, especially in the folds and creases where sweat and bacteria tend to build up. Use your hands or a soft washcloth to gently clean the area. Avoid scrubbing, as this can damage sensitive skin and make irritation more likely. Be sure to rinse thoroughly, removing all traces of soap, which if left behind can further aggravate the skin. Once clean, thorough drying becomes essential. Moisture left in the folds of the groin is one of the most common causes of fungal overgrowth, rashes, and skin breakdown. Use a soft, clean towel to gently pat the area dry, being careful not to rub or irritate the skin. Take extra care with areas where skin touches skin. These are the spots where moisture tends to hide. When skin touches skin, especially in warm, enclosed areas, moisture tends to linger, and that's where problems often begin. If mobility is limited, it can be challenging to reach certain areas of the groin. In that case, consider sitting on a stable chair or using a hand mirror to help you see and clean more effectively. These simple tools can make a big difference in ensuring proper care. If towel drying proves difficult or uncomfortable, try using a hair dryer set on a cool setting. Hold it at a safe distance and use it gently to remove lingering moisture. Just be careful not to overheat the skin. Your goal is to dry, not irritate. Even with careful drying, sometimes moisture still lingers. That's where moisture management comes in. If you notice dampness persists, apply a light layer of cornstarch-based body powder or a zinc-based barrier cream. These products form a protective shield on the skin's surface, reducing friction and helping absorb excess moisture throughout the day. It's important to steer clear of talc-based powders, which have been linked to health risks, and avoid heavily perfumed products that can easily irritate sensitive skin. If you're uncertain about which product to use, ask a pharmacist or doctor for a safe recommendation tailored to your skin type and any existing conditions. Breathable clothing plays a crucial role in keeping the groin area dry. Choose loose-fitting underwear made from natural fibers like cotton or breathable, moisture-wicking synthetics designed for airflow. These materials help prevent heat and sweat from building up. Avoid tight undergarments or fabrics like polyester that trap heat and moisture against the skin. Change your underwear every day, or more often if you experience sweating or any kind of leakage. And be sure that it's not just clean, but fully dry before putting it on. Damp clothing can undo all the careful hygiene work you've done. For those using absorbent products like briefs or incontinence pads, it's vital to change them regularly. Leaving them on too long can trap moisture, irritate the skin, and increase the risk of infection. Follow each change with a gentle cleaning and thorough drying of the area to maintain healthy skin and reduce irritation. Daily monitoring of the groin is just as important as cleaning. Set aside 15 to 30 seconds each day to check for early signs of trouble. Look for redness, persistent odor, itching, peeling, or any unusual changes in skin texture. A hand mirror can be helpful here too. And if you have difficulty seeing clearly, don't hesitate to ask a caregiver or family member for help. Why wait until something becomes painful or difficult to treat? Catching minor issues early means they can often be resolved quickly and easily. But if you notice symptoms that don't go away, or if something just doesn't seem right, consult a healthcare provider right away. Doctors and nurses are trained to help with these concerns, and addressing them early is always the best path to staying healthy and comfortable. Healthcare professionals are well versed in treating these sensitive concerns and can recommend targeted solutions, whether that's antifungal creams, prescription antibiotics, or other tailored treatments. The sooner you seek support, the easier and faster it is to resolve the issue. But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Caring for your groin area isn't just about preventing infection or avoiding unpleasant odors. It's about protecting your overall comfort, confidence, and personal dignity. When this part of the body is neglected, even minor irritation can snowball into issues that interfere with how you move, how you sleep, or how comfortable you feel in public settings. That kind of disruption can quietly erode your quality of life. On the flip side, a few minutes of daily attention can restore not only physical comfort, but also your peace of mind. It may be a private area, but its influence on your emotional well-being and sense of independence is far from small. Why let discomfort hold you back when prevention is so simple? Treating groin care as a non-negotiable part of your hygiene routine is an act of self-respect. It's not about vanity. It's about honoring your body, your mobility, and your mental wellness. Just a few consistent habits, cleaning, drying, and checking, can spare you from unnecessary suffering. The next time you're taking care of yourself, don't overlook this essential area. That small investment of time can make all the difference in how you feel throughout the day. A clean, cared-for groin area supports confidence in every interaction and movement. And if you're still here with me, finding value in these lessons, I truly appreciate your time and attention. Please drop a comment with the number 2 below, just to let me know you're still watching and learning alongside me. Now, let's shift our attention to another often forgotten area. It's small, subtle, and easy to ignore. But what if this overlooked part of your body holds more health impact than you think? I'm talking about the navel, or belly button. Quietly tucked away at the center of your torso, this little pocket deserves daily care, and for good reason. The center of your abdomen, the navel, might seem like a feature that barely warrants attention. After all, isn't it just a small scar left behind from your umbilical cord? But here's something you might not expect. If left uncared for, this tiny indentation can become one of the most troublesome spots on the body, especially for older adults. Many people assume their belly button doesn't need much cleaning, but that assumption can come at a cost. When ignored, the navel can quietly accumulate bacteria, dead skin cells, sweat, lint, and even soap residue. Over time, this buildup creates an environment ripe for irritation, odor, and infection, especially in those over 70 whose skin has become thinner and whose immune defenses aren't as robust as they once were. So, why does this little pocket matter more than you might think? The answer lies in its shape and conditions. The navel is a recessed, often moist space that naturally traps particles from your daily life. Even if you feel clean after a shower, water alone rarely flushes out everything caught inside. Without deliberate care, this tucked-away spot can foster bacterial or fungal growth that can spread beyond the area, leading to unexpected health issues. The risks only increase with age. As the skin around the abdomen becomes less firm and the abdominal wall may begin to sag, the navel tends to deepen. This deepening makes it even more prone to collecting sweat, debris, and moisture that can remain hidden and festering. And when you add reduced immunity into the mix, something many older adults face, you get a scenario where even minor irritation can turn into an infection that's slow to heal. So, the next time you're going through your hygiene routine, ask yourself, have you paid attention to the one spot that sits quietly at the center of it all? Giving your navel the care it needs isn't just about cleanliness, it's about protecting your comfort, your health, and your overall well-being. Let's look at how to properly care for this often overlooked part of the body. Even a small buildup of bacteria or yeast in the navel can quietly snowball into a more serious concern if left unaddressed. For many older adults, something as simple as thoroughly reaching the navel to clean it can become a physical challenge. Limited flexibility, joint stiffness, or balance concerns often lead to this area being skipped or cleaned only in passing during showers. Health conditions commonly associated with aging, like diabetes, obesity, or poor circulation, can make matters worse. These conditions not only increase susceptibility to infection, but also slow the healing process, making it harder for the body to recover from even mild irritation. If you've ever had abdominal surgery or once wore a belly button ring, you might face hidden risks you didn't even realize. Scar tissue or an old piercing site can act as a trap for bacteria, sometimes harboring microbes for years before any symptoms appear. What's tricky is how discreet the warning signs can be. Trouble in the navel doesn't always shout for attention, it tends to whisper. A musty or slightly unpleasant odor may be the first clue, often dismissed as normal aging or overlooked entirely. Redness or slight irritation around the area may be mistaken for a simple clothing rub. Dampness or even a faint sticky discharge may signal that bacteria or yeast are multiplying in the warm, recessed space of the navel. And then there's the itching, mild at first but persistent. A discomfort that doesn't resolve after a quick rinse should never be ignored. These quiet signs can be early indicators of a condition known as omphalitis, which is the inflammation or infection of the navel. While it may sound uncommon, it's a real risk, especially for seniors. The aging body heals more slowly, and when the immune system isn't as responsive, even a small skin issue can stretch into weeks of treatment. So the next time you think your belly button doesn't need much attention, remember, it may be small, but neglecting it could open the door to discomfort and infection that's harder to manage later. Taking care of this area is a simple yet powerful step toward overall wellness. Treating an infected navel may require topical creams or oral medications, and it can significantly disrupt your comfort in daily life. Even something as simple as sitting upright or wearing certain clothes can become unpleasant. Let's look at a real-life example that illustrates just how easily this can happen. Peter, a 79-year-old retired teacher, had always taken pride in his appearance. He showered every day without fail, kept his hair neatly combed, and wouldn't leave the house without polished shoes. To everyone around him, Peter was the picture of cleanliness. But one day, he began noticing a persistent itch around his navel. At first, he brushed it off, assuming it was just a bit of dry skin or friction from his belt. As the days turned into weeks, the itching didn't go away. It got worse. One morning, while his daughter was helping him get dressed, she noticed a subtle, musty odor coming from his midsection. Concerned, she convinced Peter to visit his doctor. The diagnosis? A yeast infection deep inside his navel, caused by trapped moisture, dead skin, and bacterial buildup. An issue that had been quietly developing over several months. Peter's story is a powerful reminder. Even the most diligent and well-groomed individuals can miss this tiny hidden area. It's not about poor hygiene. It's about not realizing just how important this neglected pocket can be. So, why does the navel become more vulnerable after the age of 70? There are several reasons. First, the skin itself undergoes changes. It becomes thinner, more fragile, and more likely to trap moisture, especially in recessed areas like the navel. Second, with age, abdominal muscles often weaken, which can cause the navel to sink deeper or develop small folds. These folds can easily collect sweat, lint, and dead skin cells, creating an environment ripe for infection. Then there are health and lifestyle factors to consider. Seniors living with conditions such as diabetes, obesity, or limited mobility are especially at risk for infections in warm, moist areas of the body. Even something as routine as sitting for long periods or wearing snug clothing can worsen the problem by increasing sweat and reducing ventilation. And when flexibility becomes limited due to arthritis or joint stiffness, thoroughly cleaning and drying the navel can become physically difficult, leading to unintended neglect, even with the best intentions. The good news? With just a few minutes of intentional care each day, you can protect this delicate area and avoid unnecessary discomfort or complications. Let's now walk through how to do that effectively. Taking care of your navel doesn't require a great deal of effort, but it does require consistency and a bit of mindfulness. Just a few minutes a day can make all the difference in maintaining comfort, cleanliness, and overall well-being. Here's a practical, step-by-step guide to keeping this often overlooked area clean and healthy. Start by cleaning the navel gently but thoroughly during your regular bath or sponge wash. Use a soft, clean tool, like the corner of a washcloth, a fingertip, or a cotton swab. Dip it in warm water mixed with a mild, fragrance-free soap. Be cautious with products. Harsh or heavily scented soaps can easily irritate the sensitive skin inside the navel. Gently insert the swab or cloth into the navel, rotating slowly to remove any trapped lint, sweat, or dirt. There's no need to dig deep or scrub aggressively. Think of this as a tender wipe, not a deep cleanse. After cleaning, be sure to rinse thoroughly. Use a fresh, damp cloth to wipe away any remaining soap, as leftover residue can lead to irritation or dryness. Once rinsed, drying is absolutely essential. Use a clean, dry cotton pad, tissue, or towel corner to gently pat the area dry. Even a hint of leftover moisture can encourage bacteria or yeast to grow, especially in warm weather or among deeper navel folds. If your navel is hard to reach or has more depth, you might consider using a hairdryer on a cool, low setting held at a safe distance. This can help dry out areas that towels might miss, especially for those with mobility issues or more recessed belly buttons. It's also important to stay vigilant. Make it a habit to check your navel regularly. Look for signs like redness, swelling, a sticky discharge, or an unusual odor. The area should feel clean, dry, and comfortable, not itchy, sore, or damp. These subtle changes may seem minor, but they can be early warnings of a brewing infection. If something feels off or doesn't improve after cleaning, don't wait. Consult a healthcare professional for guidance. Addressing small concerns early can prevent them from becoming much bigger problems later on. For those with deeper navels, common in older adults or individuals with a higher body weight, cleaning may need to happen twice daily, especially in hot or humid conditions when sweat builds up more easily. Wearing loose, breathable clothing made from natural fibers like cotton can also make a big difference. These materials help reduce friction and moisture buildup, which in turn helps prevent irritation. Never underestimate the importance of this small area. It may be easy to forget, but when it's neglected, the consequences can be surprisingly uncomfortable. With gentle attention and daily care, you can keep your navel clean, healthy, and free of unnecessary problems. Don't ignore pain or unusual discharge. If you notice swelling, soreness, or any type of discharge, especially if it has a foul odor or an unusual color, these are warning signs your body is sending you. They often point to an infection that should be addressed without delay. For seniors living with diabetes, impaired circulation, or a history of abdominal surgeries or piercings, these symptoms can be even more serious. The body's ability to heal slows with age, and what seems like a minor issue can escalate quickly. So, don't brush it off. Don't hope it goes away on its own. Prioritize it. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Why does navel care really matter? Imagine your belly button as a small hidden closet in your home. It's not a place you open daily, but if you leave it untouched for too long, dust and clutter inevitably build up. Eventually, that forgotten space becomes a source of odor, discomfort, or even damage. In the same way, neglecting your navel allows sweat, dead skin cells, lint, and bacteria to quietly gather. Over time, this buildup becomes a breeding ground for infection that can impact your overall comfort, your clothing, and even your confidence. Maintaining this small area isn't about being obsessive. It's a simple act of preventive self-care, one that supports your skin's natural defenses, helps your immune system do its job, and keeps you feeling fresher every day. A clean navel can mean less skin irritation, fewer unexplained rashes, and a lower risk of infections that might otherwise need weeks of treatment. But perhaps most importantly, it's an act of quiet self-respect. Tending to the navel might seem insignificant, but it reflects a larger truth. Every part of your body, no matter how small or hidden, deserves attention and care. When you take the time to care for yourself this way, you're honoring your health and your dignity. If you're still with me and finding these lessons helpful, I'd love to hear from you. Please comment number 3 down below to let me know you're still watching and learning with me. Thank you so much for your valuable time. These 3 areas are more than just spots to clean. They're powerful indicators of how your body is truly doing. Often overlooked, they can quietly reveal how well your body is handling aging, stress, or hidden imbalances. For those in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, being mindful of these regions becomes not just helpful, but essential. As we grow older, changes in skin condition, immune function, and mobility make targeted hygiene all the more critical. Let's take a moment to revisit what we've uncovered about each of these important areas and why they matter more than you might think. First, the underarms. They're far more than a spot for deodorant. Nestled beneath the skin are over 20 lymph nodes that play a central role in your body's ability to filter toxins and fend off infections. When this area becomes congested with residue, dead skin cells, or bacteria, it doesn't just affect odor. It can compromise lymphatic flow, promote inflammation, and subtly drain your energy. That's why daily gentle cleansing isn't just refreshing. It actually supports detoxification and overall vitality. Next, the groin. Often skipped due to discomfort or embarrassment, this sensitive area is where hygiene intersects directly with dignity. Moisture, friction, and heat create a perfect environment for irritation or infection, especially in older adults who may sit for long periods, wear tight garments, or manage occasional incontinence. But with consistent care, gentle cleaning, thorough drying, and breathable clothing, you can protect the skin, enhance mobility, and restore a sense of comfort and personal confidence. And finally, the navel. Perhaps the most forgotten area of all. Small, recessed, and easy to ignore, it's the perfect pocket for bacteria, sweat, and yeast to gather unnoticed. Yet a simple 30-second habit, gently cleaning and drying, can prevent conditions like omphalitis that might otherwise linger for weeks. It's a tiny act with major rewards. So what's the deeper message here? It's that small, thoughtful habits have a big impact. Aging gracefully doesn't require expensive products, complicated regimens, or drastic changes. It begins with awareness, intention, and just a few extra minutes of care each day. Wouldn't you agree that your comfort, independence, and confidence are worth that kind of investment? Consistent, thoughtful care for your body isn't about vanity. It's about honoring your health and showing respect for yourself. Taking just a few minutes each day to gently clean your underarms, groin, and navel may seem like a small act, but the impact is anything but small. Let's start with the clear benefits. First, fewer skin issues. When you maintain daily hygiene in these areas, you significantly reduce the chances of developing rashes, infections, or irritation. That means smoother, healthier skin, and a lot less discomfort down the road. Next, enhanced comfort. Clean, dry skin in these sensitive regions helps you avoid the friction, itching, or chafing that can so easily disrupt your day or your sleep. When your body feels at ease, your mind can relax too. Then there's the boost in confidence. There's something deeply empowering about taking control of your health in simple, consistent ways. It reminds you that you're worth the care, that you still value yourself enough to stay proactive, even with the small things others might overlook. And let's not forget the role of preventive health. By keeping these areas clean and monitored, you're actively reducing the risk of minor issues, turning into serious infections that could require medication or doctor visits. Seniors who prioritize these small, daily habits often report better skin health, fewer medical concerns, and a more comfortable, active lifestyle overall. Perhaps even more meaningful is what these routines represent: quiet strength, a kind of resilience that says, I may be aging, but I won't let that stop me from feeling good in my own body. These aren't just hygiene habits. They're acts of self-care that preserve your independence and protect your dignity. Thank you for being with us as we explored the 3 often overlooked body areas that carry so much weight when it comes to aging well. When you care for your feet, groin, and navel with intention, you're doing more than just cleaning. You're safeguarding your comfort, confidence, and mobility. So tell me, what insight today surprised you the most? Was it how a small crack in your heel could lead to a serious infection? Or perhaps the importance of fully drying your groin? Maybe you've never thought twice about your navel until now. Take a moment to reflect and share one new habit you're committed to starting today. Share your reflections and personal routines in the comments below. Your story might be just the encouragement someone else needs to begin their own journey toward better health and comfort. What may seem small to you could be the motivation another person has been waiting for. If you found value in this video, we'd love to hear from you. Please take a moment to leave a comment, give it a like, and share it with someone you care about. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to the Healthy Aging Blueprint channel for more practical, down-to-earth tips designed to help you feel your best at any stage of life. Wishing you continued health, happiness, and peace, and we'll see you in the next video.